Now, it's completely different from when
focus
I
on one thing at a time, but not in a way.
Is first and foremost an inside job.
How best we could. I mean, I cut my own bangs.
Welcome back to The Next Level Woman. I'm your host, Dr. Lisa Hart. Today, I'd like to introduce my guest. I am so excited. I have Claudia Spoleor. Hopefully, I pronounced that okay. Claudia is an energetics coach. She's going to be telling us more about that. She has a very interesting background and is really passionate about what she's doing. So I know our listeners are heart driven and we're women taking it to the next level, whatever that means for us. So I'm excited for my listeners to get to know you today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me.
Yes.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So tell me, how did you get to be doing what you're doing and what are you doing? Let us get to know you a little bit.
That's the question. What am I doing? Well, first of all, what am I doing? I work with people improving their body, their mind. And yeah, I work with any type of problem. It can be physical problem, not physical problem, improving a business, but especially is all about improving ourselves eventually. And I basically do using energetics just to find where the main cause is. And it's really beautiful method because it improves the way you feel on the spot.
So tell us really more about when you say energetics, what does that mean? In case somebody.
It's energy, everything is made of energy. So we basically we can feel if the energy is strong or weak, let's say, and that is kind of a guide for us to see, to get to the truth, to see what the main problem is. So when we talk about energy, I mean, everything is connected because we are all made of energy, right? So our thoughts are energy, our emotions are energy. So it's kind of like, yeah, everything is really entangled. So it's a different way of getting of solving problems, let's say, but is really quick. And I got to do this basically. It was a very interesting process because I met Rob Brinded, I think it was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, here in Barcelona where I live. And I had different type of issues. I was only have physical issues most of the times. But obviously the root was never physical in most of the cases. And a friend of mine introduced me to him. I met him and I was just amazed by his work. I just, I had I remember this time I had, I was having dizziness for like months and I couldn't get rid of them. And he just did it in one session. Yeah. And then I realized I really wanted to do that, but just for myself, because I've seen the improvement in myself, and especially how I was getting empowered. I came from, I lived kind of it wasn't a very, very tough childhood because my parents are a typical Italian family. They are together, and but there was a lot of grief, we can say, just resuming that, and that kind of blocks you when you're becoming an adult and a young woman, especially in Italy. Like there is a lot of repression with women. It's in our culture. So I moved to Spain, and then I started singing, something that I remember it was like, for me, it was, I don't know, I couldn't let myself doing that, but then little by little I started empowering myself thanks to Rob Brinded. And then I realized that I really wanted to study this for myself. And eventually, when I realized that, is when the COVID started. So I just came back from Cape Verde from a journey. I did like just a big trip there, and I came back. Before I was working as a singer and as a tour guide, as a freelance, but I realized that that didn't make any sense to me anymore, and I could give more to the world. And when I came
Mhm.
back, I realized that was the moment that I had to start studying Rob Brindes' method. And I started studying it, and after a month, we got the lockdown here. Um, so everything that I was living, everything that I was making living with, just faded away. And at some point I started practicing like spontaneously on people, because I do this by video call, and it
Right.
just came naturally, and I realized that I could do that, and it was really good to me because it made me feel very well helping others. And so
Mhm.
starting from that, I just kept on doing that, and that's it. Here we are.
I see. So, what results do clients, I almost said patients, because when you're talking about the physical, um, when someone comes to you, let's say I was reviewing your website and you talked about hurting your ankle.
Mm.
So, if someone comes to you with a hurt ankle, or someone comes to you because they feel stuck in their business that they're pursuing, is it the same approach, really?
Yeah, yeah, I just got the person to neutrality. I remember that time that I sprained my ankle. I was so upset because it was the middle of the summer, and I was working as a tour guide freelance. So I was losing a lot of money, and that was my main thing that I had in my
Hmm.
mind. And it's probably one of the reasons why I hurt my ankle, because I had that thought always present there. And then I went to play beach volleyball. I was like, I had to be very careful. And then eventually I sprained my ankle. So that thought of, I don't know how I will make it, just when I got neutral to that on the spot, on the same moment that I got neutral, like my ankle started to swelling down, and then I started walking.
I love it. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And I was literally freaking out. I was like, what is this? So that kind of results, it's really powerful in terms of improving a business. Like I use that for my business too sometimes, and when every time I feel like, hey, I'm not having enough clients, maybe then I get neutral to that, and then I have messages or things just start to flow. So it's
Hmm.
pretty, because thoughts and emotion are is basically an energy that is blocking everything to happen. um but yes, and I've seen this many times, so
I
it's
believe
really
that as well. Now,
yeah.
what are you focusing on these days? Since you could focus on so many things, what do you really enjoy focusing on?
Yeah, I realized that what I like to uh, work most is actually really empowering women. Probably because I went through the same process.
Mhm.
So it really makes me feel very well, um, and just making people, well, women in general, because it's a bit. I mean, it's tough also for men, obviously, but I've seen more women in like not being able to be themselves. Um, Probably also because I have more women as clients. It's probably also because of that. I don't know, but um, especially I work with a lot of people from South America, Argentina, Italy. Um, so there's a cultural thing there. There's still a lot of difference. So we kind of, and even if we don't believe that, but we have something deep in our subconscious mind
Right.
saying that no, you don't deserve that.
Hmm.
You're not able to do that. You know, so you're not good enough. And so when we delete all that stuff, you really get to. I mean, you really get to your potential,
Right.
and
Now, what are you empowering these women to do? Is it more relationships, um, their health, their money? Does it matter?
everything. Mainly, well, relationship is a big thing. I have to say, like relationship is a big thing. Um, but especially like uh, women that want to set up a company or they want to start their own business, for example.
Mhm.
Or oftentimes people that don't know what they want and they
That's a
get
big
stuck.
one.
That
Mhm.
get stuck. And I've worked a lot on these cases, and it's really interesting because um, I always say that we have two kind of guides. We have our mind and our intuition, and our mind is often lying to us. So
Mhm.
when we get neutral to all these thoughts that maybe I don't make it, maybe I can make it, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I don't know, um, well, all this worry and these negative thoughts, when we get neutral to that, then we can really connect to our intuition, and that's where the answers are. And oftentimes after the session I see like things actually happen. So maybe they got a call for an opportunity, or they meet someone that wants to set up a business with them and it's the perfect person, and so on. So it's really like getting neutral to the outcome and to all these negative thoughts that we can have.
Right. And do you feel that the thoughts, are those all conscious thoughts, or the way I always think about it is the conscious and then the subconscious. So the subconscious being where the feelings and where all the beliefs and this sort of thing are. But from your perspective, are you even aware of all these things, or are some of them that little voice inside that's telling you, oh, you can't do that? What do you think?
I mean, I really listen to the person, because I can feel where the energy drops. For example, even if there's one word and I have feel the energy weak in that word,
Mhm.
and that lead me to their subconscious thinking. Because I don't know if I can make an example now, but no, it's just hard to think about that now. But it's really like listening to the person, and it's very intuitive, you know
Right.
um because maybe
And
even just few small words, that's the key. So you really have to listen to them, and obviously the energy helps because I can feel when it drops, where there's something weakening that, and as soon as I strengthen that, then the thought is gone most of the times. And
uh,
yeah, it's kind
outstanding.
of it's kind of weird to explain that,
Mhm.
but it's the key for me is really listening to the person. And I
Mhm.
remember I had many more than one person saying, well, it's the first time I feel like listen to someone, especially people when they go to doctors, they're like, they didn't even listen to me and they gave me this. And there are amazing doctors that do listen, but sometimes, when you do that always and always and always,
Many do not.
it's just
You're right.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then when you find the one that really listen to you, doctor or whoever it is, and it's like, oh, you know so yeah, it's really listening for me. It's the answer is in the words that people
Mhm.
use consciously, or not even consciously.
Exactly. Now, you said that you started out just working with friends, right? You first you claimed it for yourself, and you started helping friends, and then it just became what you do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well,
How was
friends,
that?
friends of friends,
Okay.
so on. So yeah, I'm very lucky. I consider myself lucky here because I'll always be surrounded by people in the holistic world, so it's easier. Because nowadays, like if I say, hey, I can improve your sprained ankle by a video call, it's still a lot of people won't believe it, but we
Mhm.
can do that.
Right. Right. Do you
Yeah,
end up getting referrals from other
yeah,
providers?
yeah, too. Well,
Nice.
that's me. Yeah. Hmm.
That's a big way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big way.
Mm.
Yeah, especially clients that refer people, like they refer me to other people, and so on.
Mhm. That shows that you're really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like to ask my guests, what is one tip you'd like to share based on what you do to help our listeners who are heart-driven women who want to go to the next level in whatever the next level is for them? But what's something you would suggest that they do today? Something they could do today?
To love themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key for everything for me. Like love yourself and don't be kind to yourself. Like we all make mistakes, and we all started from like nothing, and just loving ourselves, even when we make mistakes or when we think we make mistakes.
Right.
And just give ourselves a big hug, every time we feel like scared or whatever, just give yourself a big hug, and it's fine to feel like that.
I love it.
For me, that's really the key. I don't know, and just trying to connect with our intuition, and trusting our intuition. Because oftentimes we have a little voice here and they say, "Hi, shut up." No. I don't know.
And
really
then
loving ourselves.
Yeah, there are even self-love coaches. I agree. It all boils down to love, doesn't it? Just that high vibration of love for yourself, love for everyone else, even the people who make you crazy mad. Just send them love. I send love bombs.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's always a reason why people behave in a certain way, so we don't know
exactly
well,
exactly.
But I really think is that acceptance, like loving who you are, and just don't be too critic with ourselves. Just that's the key.
So what's your next level? What are you looking forward to next?
Next, I just want to improve this more and more and more.
Yeah.
I keep on reading and researching things because I think that's really interesting. And like last year, I had good results, but now I know that now I can see more the patterns behind certain behavior, certain type of problems. So, and I want to do that more and more in order to help more people quickly.
Outstanding.
So basically improving this totally.
Got it.
Reaching more people.
So if our listeners would like to reach out to you, perhaps to work with you, to ask questions, how would you like for them to connect with you?
On my website, claudiaenergetics.com.
Okay, claudiaenergetics.com, and that'll be in the show notes. And are you on social media as well?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I use Instagram pretty much. I'm on Facebook too. And yes, mainly these are. There is my WhatsApp number on my website, so you can just go on my website and contact me by WhatsApp or email.
Right. I love that for an international group.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense.
It's easy. Yeah.
All right. Well, I thank you so much. I'm so glad we could get on the same page, and I'm really excited about your work. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Really.
Okay, well, maybe we'll pick it up again sometime.
Sure.
I'd love to hear some more specific examples of some of your work next time.
Of course.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.